Hey everybody, I'm back again, and today I want to talk to you guys about something pretty important, and that is how do you get started and what do you do when you first get home after having your stroke? Now, some of you may have had a stroke, been at the hospital, and maybe you were sent home with home health therapy, or you're kind of just on your own at home. Or some of you were fortunate enough, hopefully, to get to some type of skilled rehab or inpatient rehab where you stayed for a few weeks and then you're back home. Okay. Sometimes once you're back home, it's almost like, especially if you were getting some type of therapy, it can almost feel like you were in a little bit of a protective bubble, so to speak, or in a bubble. And then when you're home, like all that support, all that constant interaction and encouragement is kind of it's gone. Now it's just you or you and your family or whoever's coming to see you. You maybe some home health throughout the week for a few weeks. So now it's really kind of on you. And this is a really critical time in your recovery process because how you are able to shift, pivot, refocus yourself, and make a plan from this point going forward is really important because it can go one of two ways. Sometimes people tend to get, and this is completely normal, especially after a stroke, because it changes your whole life, right? Sometimes I call it going to your dark place. We all have a dark place. And I mean, when we kind of get down, it could be a form of depression or it's just normal feeling down, discouraged. Your whole life has just been flipped upside down, right? You were working, now you're not. You were driving, now you're not. You were independent, now you're relying on other people. These are huge, huge life changes. They are not all necessarily forever, but for where you are now, it could be a lot to stay positive and figure out what your next steps are. So today, I just quickly wanted to go through a few things that I tell any patient and family that I work with before they go home. We try to have these conversations so that um, no one's kind of caught off guard about just kind of that transition. How do you kind of get yourself going and take the reins of your home recovery routine, right? So today, let's get in. Let's get in it, okay? Number one, you have got to get out of that bed. Or if you're hanging out in a recliner or just sitting in the wheelchair all day, whatever it is, you have got to get up and moving in some form or fashion. Everyone is going to be at a different level of ability. So, what I mean by that is if you are someone that does need a ton of help to roll, to sit up, then what I need you to do is make sure that you're not just laying in the bed all day. Make sure you are sitting up at the edge of the bed multiple times a day with assistance if you need that, or transferring, have someone there helping you get out of the bed and at least to the wheelchair or some other chair where you can be positioned comfortably and safely, right? Or if you are able to move, get up, stand, walk. You have got to get out of the bed and you have got to get up and move out of that chair. If you're not able to walk, watching videos, picking out exercises and things that you can do easily on your own or with a little help is so critical. Okay, it's really going to be on you now to take those reins and go forward with your recovery. So please get up and get moving. All right. If you feel like you're needing some support with that motivation, then get that support. If that means you need to talk to someone, if you need to find some support groups, and I'll put some resources in the description for this video, then do that. And no one likes to talk about antidepressants, or some people truly are in a depression after their stroke. These are real factors that can impact your recovery. So I'm only bringing this up to encourage you that you are not alone. It is very common, but it really kind of goes untouched. Sometimes we don't, even in our like rehab settings, we even as therapists, we can tell, we can see signs, and we're communicating with the doctors and the team about what we're seeing, but sometimes people can fall through the cracks. So I'm just encouraging you to seek support wherever you can. Talk to your doctor. If you're open to trying medications or talk therapy, please do that, because what you're going through is not a small thing. Even if you can walk and move some, it's still a big change. So give yourself that grace, be kind and be patient with yourself, and try not to hang out in that dark place too long. Go and visit. It's going to pull you in. It's true for everybody. But I always say, just try not to stay there too long. Go for a little while, feel what you feel, and then get up and get moving. Okay. So get out of that bed and get out of that chair. Okay. Number two, you have got to establish an exercise plan. Now, hopefully, if you were coming from a hospital or some form of rehab center, you were sent home with what we call home exercise programs, even if they're just really basic, kind of like handouts with pictures of different arm exercises, leg exercises, etc. It's a start. So pull from those things that you feel that you can do. If anything that you can do on your own, do those. If you need assistance, then try to figure out a way, some kind of schedule or routine where you can have some support there to help you. If you don't have that support, again, I know some people are on their own, then do what you can with what you have. Get on YouTube. There are tons of resources out there. It can be overwhelming to kind of sift through, and some stuff is and some stuff is decent, right? And some stuff is really great. Um, just pick and choose. You don't have to pick one and follow everything that that one person has. You want to glean from a lot of different resources, where it's print, online, video, it doesn't matter. Just you pull out what you feel is going to work for you. This is the part this is what I mean by you've got to take the reins. You've got to kind of figure out, this is what I need to do for upper body. This is what I really need to focus on for my legs and for my core, all of that stuff, for my fine motor, my hands, my weight bearing, my strength, my positioning. Okay. You have to take that initiative and find what you need. Okay. If anyone has questions about that or wants help getting pointed in the right direction, please shoot me a message, or leave a comment, and I will reach out to you and give you any, kind of help point you in the right direction. And I don't mean just my resources, because this isn't going to be for everybody. You've got to find what works for you. Okay. Your recovery, your yes, your recovery and your ability to gain strength and get your life back, get your independence back. That is the goal. That's the priority. Okay. And you are the driver. You are the only one that can. You're like the fuel in the tank that's going to get you there. If you're not motivated, you're not going to go anywhere. But you've got to start taking those steps. So number one was get out of bed, get out of that chair, and find ways that you can be up and moving in some form of fashion every day. Number two, you have to establish that exercise plan, right? So you need to be walking, you need to be using, if you can, sit to stands and leg exercises, arms, fine motor, balance, coordination, all of those things that we just talked about, and use whatever resources you've gotten from therapists that have come across your path so far. Okay. The biggest thing, number three, is please figure out a way that you can, not in a military regimented way, but try to add and implement and create some structure to your day. Okay. I don't mean every day at 5 o'clock you've got to get up. Get up whatever makes sense for you, whatever time that is that makes sense for you. But do those same, get up around within an hour of that same time every day. Same with your bedtimes. Once you're up, establish a routine. Get ready in the same way or close to the same way every day. Put on real clothes. I'm not saying necessarily dress up unless that's what you really want. But when you look better, you do tend to feel better. Wash up, put on clean clothes, even if it's just a clean pair of comfy house clothes or pajamas. Do that, but be consistent. Do it every day, because it will impact how you feel. Okay. Um, Healthy meals. Figure out what is going to work for you. I know not everyone has a wealth of resources, and things can be expensive, but make sure that you're prioritizing the highest quality food and nutrition and hydration. So try not to do a ton of soda, drink more water, healthy juices. Figure out what you can do to maximize the nutritional value for your recovery, because that is what your body is using to help you bounce back from the stroke. Your nutrition are the building blocks. It has a huge impact. Okay. So please put that in part of your routine and figure out a way to be consistent in those areas as well. Okay. Let's see, what else? Um, oh yeah, obviously fit in your exercises, right? So get up around a certain time, plan your meals, get dressed, put yourself together, and figure out, okay, if every day at 10 o'clock, I'm going to do, if I need more energy to do my leg exercises, I'll do those in the morning. Figure out when you're going to do the arm exercises. Maybe when you're watching TV, that's a decent time to do like your like hand coordination, fine motor things, right? I know typically people tend to say if you're watching TV, every commercial break, do some exercise, right? It sounds good, but I don't know if you guys have ever tried it. I've actually tried this just as an experiment, and it didn't really work. I was like, okay, every commercial break, even if you're streaming, there's commercials now and everything, just about. But anyway, when the commercials would come on, I'm like, I'm gonna do 10 squats, right? You know what happens when you're watching, let's just be real, when you're watching TV, you're, I call it veg out mode. You're in veg out mode. You're probably eating, you're having some, you're eating a snack. You're vegging out, you're chill, you're not wanting to work out. Like, it's a very different kind of headspace you need to be in, when it's time to focus and put in some work, because that's what your recovery is. This is work. It is going to be work, and you need to put a lot of focused attention to it. It's not something that you can kind of passively la your way through. So I don't know. I hope I'm not offending anybody. Maybe you do get success from working out on commercial breaks, and in some small ways you can. But again, it doesn't typically. And I've talked to some other folks and I've just done my own little, you know research. But anyway, comment on that if you have a different opinion on that. But I can speak for myself and other people that I've spoken to, that yeah, when we're sitting watching TV, that we aren't necessarily in the headspace to work out, and our motivation level is not as heightened. It's not really where it needs to be, for the type of um, working out and strengthening and exercising that we're talking about here on this channel, specifically after your stroke. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. But again, leave a comment, let me know if you agree or you disagree about working out on commercial breaks. Okay, let's see what else. Definitely try to keep yourself engaged in as many household tasks as you can, especially if you're someone that is able to stand and maybe walk a little. You have some movement on that in that affected arm, even if it's simple things like you're sitting at the table and you're trying to fold clothes. I mean, maybe you're not running the vacuum or loading the dishwasher, but maybe you can do parts of that. It's really about finding the things that you can do and do them at any level and any capacity that you're able. The key here is forward action. It's movement, it's repetition. You need to be engaged, and you need to be taking intentional steps to make your body move and work as normally as possible and as often as possible. Okay, does that make sense? I hope so. So yes, do those things. You need rest. Oh, time for fun, something that you enjoy, whether it's listening to an audiobook, sitting outside in a chair, watching the birds, watching a movie, anything. You guys know yourselves, right? Find something. I don't care how small or big it is. Find something that you can do at some point every day that is purely just for your own enjoyment, okay? Because that's important too. It can't all be work, 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 right? You need balance. Balance is this elusive target that's forever moving, but you've got to really work to find that. And having some kind of peace, some kind of joy, some kind of quiet. All of those things are important to incorporate in this structure that of your routine of your day to day that you're trying to create. Okay, so try to hit all of those areas and just stick with it. It's consistency is everything. Okay, it is going to feel really uncomfortable when that alarm goes off if you're not used to getting up. And again, I'm not saying you have to get up when it's still dark outside. You're going to have to decide what that is. It could be noon, but just whatever that time is, be consistent with it. All of these changes, like anything else new, is not going to flow and feel super comfortable. Just dig deep. Dig deep. Do it anyway. Just do it anyway. You can have the thought, I don't want to do this. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. You probably aren't going to be feeling most of the things that you're going to need to do now, but you're going to have to do it anyway. If you cannot find an hour a day to exercise, 30 minutes, 2 sessions of 15, 10 minutes, something. It's just you've got to start somewhere, right? Pick 10 minutes. I'm going to do some whatever for 10 minutes. Pick something you can do for 10 minutes, right? work on your balance, do some arm exercises, whatever. Pick some other exercises that I have listed on this channel or some other channel or whatever resource you have. But please just get started, because I promise you, if you can commit to yourself, you can create a routine for yourself, and you just consistent and you just slowly build and add and tweak as you go forward, you will have success. You will start to feel that forward motion. Things will start to flow a little bit better. Okay. And the goal here is always maximizing your potential for recovery. No one knows what you're going to get back, how quickly you're going to get back, um, when it's going to come back, or if it's going to come back. But we do know that all of these things that I'm talking about today are going to be really pivotal in at least getting you to the starting line. You've got to run the race. If you're not in the race, you're not going to win. Okay. You're not going to land where you want to land. Okay. Anyway, I know that was a lot. I don't know if any of that was something maybe new, or is making you spark you to think about something, or your own life, your own routine in a different way, your own recovery. But I hope it is. And if just one thing was helpful, then I'm glad I made this video. As always, I'm doing this to be helpful to someone out there who's home trying to recover from their stroke and maybe feels a little bit alone and doesn't feel like you have a lot of support or resources. So please reach out, leave a comment, shoot me a message, and let me know if this was helpful. All right, and I'll see y'all next time. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe for more DIY videos to help you along the way in your stroke recovery. Struggling at home? Have a question? Leave me a comment. I'm here to help.